This is officially, for the record, my thank you to you all for sharing this time and our lovely hobby. This is for that same vaunted record, officially Soup City Sins Season 8 Epilogue. The real secret of magic lies in the performance. When we last left our coterie, we had realized exactly what buttons to not push or step on for Lu. They had arrived at Faye and Stella's apartment as the party was moving toward a fevered pitch. Certain things became very clearly obvious, namely that the condo, while overlooking the succubus, was far and away above what Faye and Stella could muster up, or should have been able to muster up, in regards to making their payments. It also became fairly and clearly obvious that due to a certain gifting of technological devices, mics, cameras, small drones, and the like, that they had begun cornering a market for information brokering. Though with their altruism, it wasn't nearly as predatory as the services of such beings as Janice, or even as wash, one hand washing the other as Martin. Their services, having very little to do directly with the kindred, pertained to and circulated around the activities of local law enforcement and the like. Lucio, Hestia, and Dizzy, having found this information, having staked out there the window to keep an eye on the succubus, which was in full swing, with power players of all strata of Kindred society, realized that the sisters, Faye and Stella, had come to others' attention, significantly others' attention. We find ourselves on the back deck of that same condo with Dizzy, Lucio, Arsenio, and Hestia gathered around the remains of Eddie, the Thin Blood, who had just recently engaged in a bit of extortion with Annabelle. His remains lying, growing colder by the second. What is it that we would like to do?
Lucio immediately turns to Arsenio and says, "We need to hide the body now."
Yeah, sure thing, Lucy, but getting it through all of them people, I'm not so sure. What about back there? And he points to the rear deck space, which is all but a small apartment unto itself. Lucio, having been here before, really knows that is where Stella enjoys her quiet time, where she does her painting, her writing, often late night singing and drinking moments with Faye. And there's an apartment away from the apartment, as it were.
That wouldn't stay hidden long in there.
I don't know, man, but I wash my hands of this whole bullshit because it's just, dude, you gotta masturbate more and desensitize your buttons or some shit. Because I mean, your trauma is your trauma, but it's starting to have a fucking blast radius.
I'm aware. All right, hiding it in here is not an option. We gotta clear the room. We gotta clear the apartment.
Clears your throat. I have an idea.
Go on.
I mean, these are trying times. Maybe he jumped. That would also get everybody to leave really, really quick. I like that idea.
I mean, I ain't a doctor or nothing, but isn't doing an autopsy on one of us a bad thing?
It's thin blood. Almost human.
Yeah, you say that, but I guess an autopsy ain't that the worst thing that could happen. There's a couple of folks down at the medical center you could reach out to. I got a number. It goes back some time to when I was working with the family, but they can swoop in and make sure that no one knows this even happened. Like the body would be gone, poof, gone, vanish.
Hey, if we get in front of this, he pissed off what's her ass? Isn't she like high up and important? Maybe she would be kind of beholden to the fact that he doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it's risky play, but
yeah, Annabelle. I could make that call. and you decide whether you want to send him over the edge or hide him. But make your choice quick.
I'm just saying she might be able to help get in front of the whole repercussions of autopsies and ambulances and news crews and all that shit.
While that's all well and good, I'd like to remind you that any sort of involvement with the kindred or throwing a dead body out of the roof or out of the window, that this is my sister's apartment, and that's going to bring a lot of attention to them.
Yeah, but you wanted her to move in with you.
For her safety, which is going to be severely compromised if we go through with this.
Here's the thing you're not considering, though. If we make her high profile, then she's a masquerade threat. And any of us that come around her are going to, kind of in violation of that first rule.
Fine, do what you want. I'm going to go make a phone call.
I don't like this.
Hey yo, Lucy, it's a tough time. I know, I get that, but I could always call these guys. Like, they work for anybody.
Yeah, we'll call them, and then I'll call Annabelle.
I don't think we need to call Annabelle if we just make the body disappear.
Isn't this probably Greasio's place anyway? Maybe we could pin it on him.
What do you mean, Greasio's place?
That dude we met with, your dad or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Tories are paying for this place. So if we do end up pinning it on them, then that could help us. But I have other priorities. I do not want any harm to come to Stella or Faye right now.
No, I get that. I'm just trying to turn a super duper negative into not a negative.
Here's a thought. We hide the body for now. We get Stella and Faye out of here. When things die down a bit, then we'll throw his body off the roof and bring the cops here. Deal?
Sure thing. And with that, Luis, Arsenio ends his phone call before he finishes relaying any information. So, where you want to hide him?
Preferably as far away from here as possible for now.
Dude, I've been to hundreds of these parties. Just lock him in a bathroom. They'll just think he's either fucking or he's puked or passed out or something. People will just go away.
Okay.
The second order of business is his phone and all the shit he had on it.
Let's not forget we no longer have the caddy to hide bodies in anymore.
Yes, I know.
What if, and hear me out, what if we didn't have bodies to hide anymore?
In our line of work, that's easier said than done.
I get that, but we seem to go out of our way a lot of times.
I try not to. I really do. But he just pushed all my fucking buttons.
So, are we pretending we're not monsters anymore? Is that what we're doing?
Isn't that the whole of our existence? We wake up every evening and pretend that we're not monsters until sundown?
Yeah, but that gets so tiring.
I don't know, I kind of enjoy it.
A big act. This whole we're good people. Really.
Arsenio crouches down, takes off his blazer, which has his own amount of blood on it, but because it is darker, it's not that stand out to most people. To Kindred, it's akin to wearing a shrimp cocktail around one's neck. He wraps it around the remnants of Eddie's head, tucks his hands into his jacket pockets, and looks towards the actual bulk of the condo. The kitchen still is active. You see bodies moving, people talking. It is in such full swing that no one has realized that the four of you all are still back here alone with Eddie, nor have they, or could they, at that distance, realize the amount of blood splatter and gray bits that are all over the roof area. So, Lucy, how do you think we're going to get this to the bathroom, huh?
Preferably by having no one see us between here and there.
How many people are still out there? Didn't we scare some off already?
Yes, most. You guys are alone on the deck. Everybody else is actually in the condo. Stella having entered, Faye having not stepped out, is still holding court inside the little walk-in pantry with her smoking buddies and associates. So the party, while in full swing, is without its two hosts, but no one really seems to notice after all. This is as close to a college party as many of them will ever come, and as close to heaven as most of them can ever reach. Free booze, good ambiance, a view of downtown or a portion of the downtown area, and most importantly, they don't have to worry about the cleanup because they don't live here.
All right, so where's the nearest bathroom? That's the first thing we need to know.
Inside the door, around the corner, right off the most rear bedroom.
Someone check
So-
if there's anyone that can see that area.
Well, as long as we know where we're going, and you guys are ready, I'll make a distraction.
Do it.
All right. So Dizzy will wait for them to scoop up the body. She'll do with her hand a countdown from 5. She will throw up her all. She will step out of the room and scream, "Woohoo! Strip Mario Kart, motherfuckers! Line up some shots. Let's do this!"
All right. Well, that being the case, would you be so kind as to roll your manipulation and persuasion, adding your awe? How immediately successful is she at pulling everyone to not only focus on her, but to stay with her through this tour through insanity that she is offering?
It was manipulation and persuasion, you said?
Yep, manipulation, persuasion, add your presence.
All right, that's only 13 dice. Let's see what happens.
Only 13 dice. Is anyone inured to the effects of Dizzy?
Sorry, I had to back up and see what my hunger was.
All right, so Dizzy has them eating out of the palm of her hand as she makes her way into the kitchen and gets everyone's attention. You all have to get past the kitchen and around the corner. Would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your dexterity and stealth with no minuses, despite everyone literally being able to just notice the movement? But Dizzy is so infectious and has everyone's attention that the opportunity to be socially invisible is on you all. Now, Hestia, are you helping to remove the body, or are you heading to reach out to members of the Chantry so that you can connect with Annabelle?
As far as I know, they've decided to not call Annabelle for now, so I guess I'm gonna just leave it be. But she's not helping either. She's just irritated right now.
So trailing along as they move Eddie into the rear bedroom, into the bathroom there, Hestia's phone goes. The idea of it going off now seems so apropos as to be laughable. As Lucio and Arsenio get Eddie into the bathroom, it becomes more insistent.
She answers.
Miss Green.
Oh, hey, Usabo. How are you?
I'd like to say that I was considerably better. Unfortunately, there is some to do at the Succubus. I understand that you and your hounds may already be in the... Is it possible that you might meet me on the first floor near the bar?
Of the Succubus? Or the
Correct.
place of... okay, no problem. Sounds good. Give me about 5 minutes or so.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you and your associates.
Oh, just me.
I believe that you will not be able to make this decision alone.
Yeah, but I'd rather it just be me tonight.
So I'll see you all in 9 minutes. Thank you.
She turns to the rest of them. So I gotta go do some chantry stuff across the street. Can't get out of it though, because he's already at the Succubus Club. He's expecting me, so I gotta go see what that's about.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope, not even a little bit. That was who was just on the phone. Dusabo, the big man.
And he wait.
He said that he knew that me and my associates were near the Succubus Club because of the big to-do, but that he wanted to see me in person and that he would meet me in the bar in 9 minutes. That's what he said.
9 minutes, okay. So we have about 9 minutes to try and figure out as much as we can about where he hid his blackmail stuff, where Eddie hid his phone. Hess, I think you're the only one who can find it. You have... I know you've done this before with, like, when you taste my blood and you were able to find my sire, or my grandsire, and with the whole memoriam thing from before, I know you have abilities that I don't to be able to find these things. Please, I am fucking desperate here.
Storyteller, would that work? I mean, because I know we did the memoriam thing before.
You did do the memoriam thing before, and it was just as enervating to live in another's life as it is dealing with all of the ups and downs of the evening society. Honestly, with where you are mentally and with everything that's going on, your lack of a connection to Eddie, the chances of it being successful are slim and none. And Slim went on vacation.
Yeah, okay, kind of figured that. I mean, granted, because I didn't know any of the others when we did Dizzy's, but Dizzy we had a connection with, so that through Dizzy it was the connection to the others. This Eddie person, I don't know. Would getting somebody that knew him's blood help?
That very well might help make things easier.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I know we don't got long, so turning to Lucio, you know your sister's place. I need a silver bowl and maybe somebody's blood that knew him a little better than we did. That's what it needs.
The only people I know who knew him better than me are... No. Absolutely not.
You said you're desperate, and I only need a little bit, so either you man up and let me get some of their blood, or we don't find out.
Hey, if this is gonna keep, because unlike most bodies, and there's no waste, there's no stench. If you need, you guys can go find another way, and I'll keep watch here and watch out for your sister, Lucy.
It was locked in his mind, so if we're going to find it easily, then I have to unlock his mind. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise, we're gonna... You know how big Chicago is? We'd be on a wild goose chase looking for possible drop points. Ridiculousness.
This is so fucking... Oh my god. Why didn't I fucking think?
Look, she won't even feel it. It'll be really good for her, promise.
You're gonna... Oh my god.
Fine.
Fine.
We'll pick the one you like
it.
least.
I'm not picking favorites here. Do
Which
it.
one's closer, Stella or Faye?
Just make sure I don't see it, or I might lose my fucking shit right now.
Yeah, well, anyway. Storyteller, which one's closer, Stella or Faye?
That's a coin toss. Stella. She is in the kitchen with Dizzy as Dizzy regales everyone and leads them towards the switch so that they can play Naked Mario, well, Topless Mario Kart for shots.
While that goes on, Lucia's gonna turn to Arsenio and ask, "Please tell me you brought a change of pants. I didn't intend to have a Thin Blood's gray matter all over my knee, but, well, I guess things like that happen in our line of work now."
Well, normally I have exchange of pants and a few shirts in the back of the caddy. Unfortunately, everything went sideways on this. But if I'm not mistaken, these girls, they throw these parties all the time. I'm sure that they got lost and found and people lose shit all over the place.
Guess I gotta go find that while everyone's distracted.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You and him are about the same size. Be a little high, quarter inch or so, but I'm sure you can make do with that, huh? You know,
Just to make sure I understand. Is he saying switch with Eddie's pants or someone else's?
Yes.
How clean are they?
Surprisingly so. All the few bits of dust and dirt are around the edges, i.e., right at the pants hem, but for the most part, they're actually clean. Partially because Kindred don't really, have the oils, grease, and life that sticks to their fabrics.
Okay, so I go to find Stella really quick. And I've got like a little vial that I normally keep like my spiders in, but I've already used the spider from that vial, so
As you close,
I'll have it in my hand.
As you close on Stella, Statman throws his arm around. What's going on, Chocolate Drop? You and everybody get lost? I scared everybody away from the deck like you wanted, but you guys took forever. And he pointedly looks at Dizzy, and then back to you. Now, it ain't my place. This ain't the Red No. This ain't the prop house. So I ain't nobody. I'm not the bouncer. I'm not the manager. I'm not the host. But no. There's a scent that only Kindred Vitae has. Is this going to be a thing? Has this already been a thing?
She reaches up and pats him gently on the face. Hound business, honey. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you say that, but if you guys are actually whatever these girls have been up to, you wouldn't believe some of the stories I've already heard tonight.
Yeah, we're trying to fix some things, but I don't really have time for this right at this moment. But I would say, though...
Chocolate Drop, my love, I think you really made time. Because while I ain't no hound, you know who my peoples are. You know who I'm involved. You know what they do. And these girls are definitely on the radar. They do. I've already spotted 3 different faces of not quite full-blooded, not quite light, floating around in this party. As a matter of fact, you seen Eddie?
Strange. No, I don't think I have recently.
That's a good thing. There's a search supposedly going wide. Ads just text me. That dumb idiot fronted off Annabelle in her own den. Anybody caught with him is probably gonna go down. And you know how long they actually take to make people go down who aren't actually one of us? So I wanted to make sure that the girls were okay and had some cover, but there ain't much.
Yeah, we're working on that. So I gotta thank you though. I appreciate where you're coming from with that, looking out for them. How about we finish getting rid of everybody except for people that are in the know, and That'll definitely help give them some deniability, because we got some things to finish. So,
I thought you guys were hounds. If you're really on hound business, is this having to do with what's going on across the street? Shouldn't you already be there?
I'm trying to get there, but things keep interrupting me and stopping me from where I need to go.
Hey, man. You do what you feel you need to, but it just don't seem right. Anyway, Ash just text, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and speak with him about what I know. So I'll see you guys later. Hey, Cheryl, let's go.
It takes control that she hasn't had in a while to pull herself together, because things are starting to add up for her. The thinking that Dizzy was in danger and trying to go rescue them, and remembering that Simone is dead again because now they had found his things in the office, and trying to keep the shelter out of evil people's hands, and then getting attacked by goons and not even seeing their faces. And now they've got to protect these two girls who have somehow stumbled into idiocy while not upsetting their brother. It's all piling onto her right now, and it's got her jaw tight, because she's trying to just do this one thing that everybody's asking her to do, and then everybody's coming at her, needing her attention and trying to tell her things and demanding she go places, and it's a lot. So much so that she's almost cracked the tube in her hand.
Does Dizzy notice any of this from wherever she is in the room there?
Yes, knocking back on the fourth or fifth shot of Terramano, she sees Stedman sneak away to speak with Hestia and then make his way out with his two lovely trained human offerings. And the look on Hestia's face is enough that even the monster that was Mother Teresa would feel bad about the pain that they are in. Stella is at the edge of the crowd, watching everything going on, taking pure actual pleasure in the party, despite how it began and her few moments of being in a fugue state, how everyone is actually enjoying themselves. She's going to definitely have to tell Lucy about how enjoyable Dizzy was, because she has the crowd. Shots, there are people complaining, people yelling. You see more than one friendship ending over the game, not the shots, the game.
Dizzy will slide over to Hestia with a drink in her hand and hand it to Hestia and be like, "You all right?"
Turning her head, almost like she's fighting herself to turn her head, which is a very strange physicality. And behind her eyes, the beast is there, then he's not. The beast is there, then it's not. And there's a definite shake to her hands. Just...
Hey, I get it. I guarantee you I've had a shittier night than you. But it's crisis time. We need to focus, be in the game right now. We can lose our shit in 10 minutes, I promise. We can kill everybody in the room if it makes you feel better.
We can't lose our shit in 10 minutes, because in 10 minutes I have to go see Deuceable across the street with the whole of the hounds and listen to whatever it is he's about to say. But in the meantime, I have to get this blood, which I'm going to do.
You go get that blood, girl. Hell yeah, go get it.
So she very carefully sidles up to Stella and smiles and kind of pokes them on the shoulder a little bit. So, a little weird having your boss at your house, huh?
That being the case, because Hestia, even her smallest blade is clearly a blade. It is a ceremonial dagger that she always has. You are attempting to obfuscate that you just stabbed her politely. And it's not a...
No, I poked her with my finger. I poked her with my finger to get her attention.
Okay. Would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your dexterity and subterfuge, because you're going to attempt to draw blood from a person who's been in and around you all and views you as friends of the family, if not family itself. Not only her employer, but the kind lady that, has been there. And you're going to take a dagger to her. So to obfuscate that, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your dexterity and subterfuge to draw blood in the most stressful of moments for Hestia as a kindred? She turns around. It is some very... I was on the deck a minute ago. Things are just blurring by so quickly. It is really, really good to see you. And do you know who the blonde girl is?
You don't remember Dizzy?
I never got her name.
Dizzy.
Dizzy. Is that like a family name or something? I know I'm one to talk. Names a kid Stella in this day and age. Did we lose you?
Nope, still here. I was waiting to see what was going on with the roll. Oh. Okay, just making sure.
So you stab her and collect your blood.
Stab her. We're just like running across her a little.
Yeah, in this situation, she's a valuable person to Lucio. You are in a stressful situation. Even under the best of conditions, it will not be something that is not noticed. She won't notice it. She's caught up in the party life. But for your beast and for this moment, it very much is akin to punching your local priest. The pragmatism wins out, and you go through with it. But it is a moment of unexpectedly tense stress. It stacks on top of itself and combined with everything else that they've experienced over the course of the night and the last few weeks. It all comes due. Would you be so kind as to roll your resolve and either subterfuge or persuasion, whichever one is higher, to keep Hestia from expressing the grief she's feeling? She will be able to manage to hold together for a few moments, but knowing that the dam must break, knowing that it is beating against her internal shields, how long she attempt to hold a conversation? I never realized how many people are so interrelated. There's really a small... Hey, Miss Green, are you okay?
Yeah, I just had a really long night and things have been really stressful at the shelters, so don't forgive me. I gotta go find your brother. We gotta go handle something. Have a good night. And she'll turn and not run, but practically speed walk back towards Lucio and Arsenio, and then sticking the blood in her pocket, and then she would have to get some from Eddie. And they don't have time to do this right now, obviously, because they have to go to Crucible, but she's gonna get some blood from Eddie and make it very clear to Lucio and Arsenio that they have to go now or it's not going to be pretty.
As you make it back to the bedroom, Dizzy, do you follow behind Hess now that everyone's involved and otherwise distracted?
Yes, my work here is done.
As you all make it to the back bedroom, you both walk through the door roughly about the same time as Lucio is standing over the pantsless Eddie, sliding up the purple pants he was wearing.
Dude, that's some real East Coast, West Coast shit right there.
I'm sorry, would you prefer I keep a blood-stained pair of pants on while we go meet Hestia's boss?
Yeah, I'm sure you're not the only dude walking out of here in stained pants tonight.
Oh, God.
Arsenio.
Did they notice the fragility at all?
Arsenio attempts to choke back the laugh and fails until his face looks at Hestia, whose eyes are moist with the pinkish, viscous liquid that is all of you all's bodily functions.
So Hess is about to lose it, but yeah, we should get out of here.
Arsenio, I need you to stay here. Keep watch on things.
Yeah, sure thing. I got this. I'll set up like the drunk guy, and with that, he starts bodily forcing and folding remains of Eddie into the closet space in the bathroom where the linen should be. But they unfortunately don't have enough cash to stock all of the bathrooms.
Out of curiosity, when I was going through his stuff, his clothing basically, did I actually find anything of note?
Which basically kind of go ahead and roll your intelligence and investigation, because as you're putting them on, there's certain things that everyone carries on them: male, female, old, young. We accumulate things all the time, and it's only with careful, all due consideration that those naturally accumulated things.
Okay, and rolling.
It's only with careful, purposeful consideration that those naturally accumulated bits and bobs and blobs of fluff don't stick to our person, don't wind up in our pockets, in our bags, at our tables. We naturally just pull things. There's the flyers, the receipts, all of those things that would tell the story of at least a day, if not a life. And the fact that Eddie has none of those things, the fact that his pockets are scrupulously empty, not just the pants pockets, but the jacket pockets, the additional holdout pocket, which has been sewn on the inside of the pants, both at the waist and at the hem. The fact that someone would have pockets like that, or small items to be hidden on their person, and not be carrying one singular item to show they are, is the reddest of red flags. It sets off all sorts of alarm bells in Lucio's head as he fastens the pants, having checked through them in the jacket pockets on his jacket. This was purposefully done. He divested himself of everything that would denote where he resided, what places he's visited. And for Lucio, it is triggering, because when he awoke almost a year ago in that dank, dark pit of despair, with the bodies around him being drained of their life's fluid, his own pockets were in a similar state. Their pockets and their beings were in much a similar state. So as everyone heads across the street to the succubus, is there any other conversation or bits that you all would like to have had out before you make it across the street?
Lucio is silent on the way over.
As you arrive, unlike usual, where you have to wait in line, or where you were escorted in by Zuli, you received a wave through because the doorman recognized Simone. This time the guy looks you all over and opens the door. Stedman said you guys would be coming over shortly, and you all are allowed in. And while the succubus doesn't have a specifically VIP service, it does for certain individuals when you wave through. And you all make every other person in line who are wearing a month's worth of salary or a year's worth of salary on their back immediately, instinctually jealous. Entering in is not hard to see DuSable against the far front bar. In fact, he looks towards you all, and in his facsimile of a smile, nods for you all to come over in greeting. As you all enter, you notice that upstairs in the actual VIP area, raised area where most of the members of the Clan of the Rose watch the happenings and conduct their social experimentation and engineering, and where they lord their status as masters of the realm over almost everyone else. You see that there are several other notable politically connected kindred there. There's Brett Stryker, Zuli's up there, the clear West Indian or Jamaican fellow not far from her arm is clear. Ads. Behind him are Stetman and his dates of the evening. There are a few others, including, strangely enough, Alan Sovereign, the prince's seneschal. While Jackson, as far as princes go, is one of the. There's a certain status that comes from having his seneschal tend to issue. You notice Damien on the wing keeping watch. You notice Alexa across from him keeping a watch on the door. And you're not quite positive, but you're sure the gentleman sitting to the left of the bar is probably one with some facsimile of disguise.
Holy shit, it's cold in here. I'm getting a beer. Where are we supposed to meet Dumbledore?
As you all approach, and he overhears Dizzy, he says, I heard as much in regards to the hounds that you all engage in such behaviors. I already obviated your need to pay. I will consider this a most costly favor to be called due shortly. He motions with a head nod toward the many faces upstairs and meeting, hiding the ramifications of whatever it is they're discussing as best as possible. The tension that they feel by the fact that so many of them are here, hidden behind smiles and nods and quiet conversation, even with the 3 different DJs going bass pounding off the walls. I'm sure you all are aware that Newberry is missing, presumed dead. I'm hopeful that he is, but that presents the opportunity for us to take that seat at the table once we rectify our own personal issues. I have come into association of our clan to work most beneficently as one of your hounds, especially in this case. If we are to obtain information and present it to the others, our position will be assured. And I'm sure that you all are aware as to how important potential blackmail information was. But the individual is just as important. I've taken pains, and he pauses. Melinda, would you be so kind as to describe yourself sitting in waiting Dusabo's introduction?
All right. So, Melinda has dark brown hair, brown eyes, pretty, probably stands about 5'7". She has her hair kind of pulled back in like a messy like ponytail. It looks like she attempted to put in a ponytail, but like didn't really pay attention if like hair was like falling out. She's wearing like a really long coat, slacks, and like a button-down t-shirt. She kind of looks like you would imagine like her dress is almost like, you know, like this old like noir like detective shows where it's like, you know, the guy like the way like the detectives would be dressed. That's almost what her outfit looks like. And she is just sitting there at the bar. She has a book there beside her. It looks like it is a copy of Don Quinceañero with a bookmark that's like halfway through the book.
It is very important that these individual, as well as their information, by far most expeditiously. I understand that through suggestion of an elder statesman, that this very well will come to the hounds as their duties for the next however long it takes. I would like to offer the services, assistance of the former regent of El Paso, a finder of lost things, a seeker of lost people, and a potential assistive hound to assist you. Time is of the essence because I understand that Damien tasked with these duties before the end of the conversation.
So, like, Hestia is there, or is it just me and...
It is Melinda, Hestia, Dizzy, and Lu, with Dusabo going out of his way to make the slightest and slyest of introductions.
Hello. My
Hello.
name is Melinda Cruz. It seems we will be working together from now on.
Lucio walks up, offers his hand. Lucio Darcy.
A pleasure. And
Likewise.
she will take your hand. And she'll look at Hestia and Dizzy and like, and you ladies, and your names? I see.
Dizzy will just kind of tip her head and take another swig of her beer. She doesn't really say anything.
A lady of mystery. I can appreciate that.
I've heard your name before. I believe we have someone in common, but we'll talk about that later. I'm Hestia, which is pretty
All
obvious,
right.
I guess.
A pleasure to meet you. Well, I suppose time is of the essence.
I will leave you all to depart now, create a distraction so that the other hounds and the other elders do not interfere while we take whatever steps necessary. And with that, he begins moving upstairs. And instead of being the frail half steps of a man of his physical age, it is very much the walk of someone who is setting themselves to cleave enemies and smite down foes. As he makes his way up to the VIP area, his voice raising just loud enough to draw attention for the driving bass beat. I am tired of this. Remain for the rest or you depart.
That guy's weird.
I don't know. He seems pretty efficient to me.
He's still weird.
Hestia has a bit of a raised brow because she's never... Well, that's only the second time she's seen him move like that. The first time was the war at the Chantry. But, it's kind of... She's having a moment because she's hearing Urzuli in her head. And shaking her head, trying to get it out. We should go. We should go. We should go. We should go. She's turning. Gotta go. And
Wait,
back towards the door.
wait, where are we going? Nothing's on fire this time. That was a good meeting.
I need out.
And from upstairs, don't attempt to shush me when there's a matter that's this important to the city before us all, and you refuse to call on your one saving grace and not those well-meaning, though underprepared hounds that you would level this upon. You all screwed the pooch and allowed this moment to escalate to where you need us. And instead, needless to say, he goes on and on. All eyes turning to him. Damien even frowning and moving closer because it's very much unlike what most dare do in home.
I want to eat. Let's leave. I don't want to be here. This is dumb. Did he really just say screwed the pooch?
He very much did.
You'll have to forgive me. Sometimes my English is confused. What does that mean?
Screwed the pooch? I guess the literal translation is that he had sex with a dog, but it basically just means that everything's all screwed up.
I see. Strange metaphor.
Welcome to America, baby.
When you say that, she kind of looks at you, Desi, and she just kind of like does like some finger guns, and she goes, "Howdy."
All right, so let's leave. I don't like it here. It's too cold.
let us be off and you can tell me what it is we're looking for.
What is it we're looking for? Who knows what we're looking for?
When we get outside, just as Dizzy asks that, Hestia leans over to Dizzy and whispers in their ear, what we're finding is what we were already looking for. He wants us to get to the information first so that we have leverage.
Who has leverage? He has leverage or we have leverage?
We / the Tremere.
Well, what's in that for me? Because really, the last time I hung out with you all, the shit was on fire and you were murdering each other, and it's not a party that I would like to go to again. Thank you. Please remove me from your mailing list.
Well, in the finding of said information, we are the heroes, which just seems to be what you want to be, a hero.
If I had
wanna
to piece
be a hero.
if I had to piece it all together, I'm guessing Dusable wants to find the information first to use as leverage to become Primogen. And he said that would mean he would owe us a deep debt.
Which is just bigger than a boot.
Okay. So that's what's in it for me. See, that's all I needed to know.
He's not being regent enough. He's already the most powerful premier in the city, if you're regent.
Yes, but correct me if I'm wrong, Hestia, but your clan doesn't have a Primogen, correct?
Correct.
So you basically don't have any representation or say in the laws of the kindred of the city. Am I correct?
Very much so.
I think he's ready to change that, so that's what we're trying to do this.
Well, it's just a shame that no one can find that Newberry guy.
Do you have anything that belongs to him?
Who, Newberry?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, we're not looking for Newberry.
Nope. We are ignoring the fact that he ever existed. Let's move on. Let's find what we were looking for before. There is no reason to bring up that name.
What are we looking for?
I take the vial of blood from my pocket that belonged to Eddie and Stella mixed and hand it over to Melinda. We're looking for this person's personal belongings. There is a phone and some other items that we are looking for spread out amongst the city. They had several drop points.
All right.
Melinda, as you stand there listening to them, across the street from the succubus, the rooftop apartment or whatever that is as loud visually as the succubus club. There are lights flashing, there's people up there, and with only a modicum of heightened senses, you are able to denote that is a hugely attractively active party in full swing. Hear loosely, softly on the wind, "Oh no, not a fucking shell! God damn it!"
Lucy, as an aside, I want to apologize in advance for introducing them to Strip Mario Kart.
I had no idea Strip Mario Kart was a thing before you.
If you combine alcohol and sex with anything, it's a thing.
Oh my god. This better not become a regular thing for them, or I will hold you accountable.
Lucio?
Have you not heard of strict poker? Somebody once said the same thing about that. Now everybody does it.
A fair point.
Lucio, I want you to look at me. Look me in the eye. Right now.
Okay.
You listening?
Yes.
Your sister's had sex lots before. She's not a virgin.
That's a bit harsh.
What is so wrong about sister engaging in romance?
He's very traditional.
I'm very protective.
Is your sister a child?
In some ways.
In what ways? Is she underage?
No.
No, she's legal.
College student.
Then she is capable of making her own decisions. And is she not?
I have an important question. Why are we talking about my family in front of someone that I don't know?
As you all discuss, and Lucio draws a very sharp underscored line that you all are clearly very close to moving over and beyond the reality of where you are, the convergence and intersectionality of your reasons to move sits there before you. Finding the information gives you the opportunity to make certain people disappear with all due cover. Finding the information confirms and helps your status as hounds and one of the only coteries in the city to officially receive a domain care of Prince Jackson himself. It will also give you a boon to call due with the Chantry and their regent most directly. And if the information is as good or as damning as everyone believes that it is, there's bound to be more, especially for Lucio, who understands that or has a very real sinking suspicion that young Master Eddie was either directly or loosely affiliated and associated with those who had done him harm previously. And as for Melinda, the very real fact that Eddie is connected with the thin bloods of the city holds its own potential treasures. And not to be petty or to deem Dizzy as such, reality of there being several disconnected associations of thin blood is highly unlikely, especially as Charlotte, who attempted to kidnap and waylay her just earlier this evening, had in fact mentioned that Eddie would be providing others for what they had planned.
So two things, guys. Earlier, I had a run-in with some thin bloods who may have been connected to this Eddie guy. And the other thing is, do you guys get matching jackets?
Oh,
Sorry. Wait, what?
Like in the Chantry, do they get like matching jacket? Do you have to wear like a uniform or?
this is my jacket. Like it's mine. My father bought it for me.
No, like, you know, like I don't know, it's got like the Chantry symbol on it. Never mind, it's not important. But anyway, if my best gal pal, Alexa, has not killed them all, perhaps I could bring some to us.
Yes, please. If I had known this before, half of what we were just doing wouldn't have been necessary.
So, let us get some more private. And I need a white satin ribbon. And I can put this gift Miss Hestia gave me to use.
You need what kind of ribbon now?
White satin.
White satin. My sister or Faye wouldn't happen to have one in their apartment, would they?
Most assuredly. Faye was once a ballet student. And the only reason why she was a student of ballet was because she liked the they wore around their calves.
Give me 5 minutes. And
No.
Lucio's gonna head to the apartment.
No, we don't need to take this ribbon from a dead man's hand named Fred at 12:03 a.m. on the full moon, right?
I just need a white satin ribbon.
Magic is confusing.
I don't know what's so confusing about needing one ribbon.
There's always a catch.
As Lucio's moving away, he just says to Dizzy, "Don't question it. It's magic. It just makes sense. You don't need to explain it if it's magic."
Looking to Melinda. So, do you have a vehicle or anything? Because we're probably going to need it. And the vehicle I traveled in here was paid for. And then before that, we had a crash. So, yeah.
Storyteller, how did I get to the Succubus Club?
DeSable drove.
No, The regent drove me personally to the Succubus Club.
I stole a car in Dalton. It's a couple blocks away. We take an Uber over to it, or we just take an Uber where we're going.
Yes, let's take the Uber. We'll take it to my hotel.
Does anybody have any money? Because I gave my last $50 to a blind bathroom attendant so that I didn't get eaten by werewolves.
I got it. Melinda pulls out her phone, calls for an Uber.
Oh, getting Uber is not a problem. You are in the heart of town.
She makes a note for the Uber driver that we are picking up. It is not just myself. It is me and like 3 other people.
While we're waiting for the Uber, I look at Dizzy. Do you have a Cash App?
Of course I have a Cash App. There's nothing in it.
I'll fix that. And then she goes into her phone and pulls up the account for the Haven and forwards Dizzy some money.
This person we're looking for.
We're not looking for a person.
What are we looking for?
We're looking
Their
for a
items.
person's phone. We probably know where the person is, but we just need their phone. And they don't have the phone. So knowing where the person is irrelevant. Forget I said it.
Okay, we're looking for someone's phone. Alright. Do we have phone number?
No. Though maybe I could get it.
If we have phone number, we call phone.
At this point, Dizzy whips out her phone and she goes to, because he was live streaming earlier, so she goes to search for this video that he was live streaming.
See, the problem with that, Melinda, is he hid the phone and some other items in dead drops to go back to later and pick up. He doesn't have them on him, which is why we need the items and not the person.
All right. So, Dizzy, would you be so kind as to go ahead and your? It's not that easy cycling through all of the geolocated potential videos. So, make it a resolve plus technology, because the succubus, even in the mortal society, and even during the breathing days of everyone that exists there, it is a hallmark. It is a landmark of status. Being able to say that you partied in the succubus is a feather in most social people's cap. People who are addicted to being seen, to being noticed. And with all of the dedicated speed and focus of a hacker from some late 90s, Dizzy hits her phone and begins cycling through feeds that are out there in the blogosphere, that are out there on Snap, that are out there, and there are literally, just in the matter of the last 30 minutes, an additional 100 such feeds that pop up. People are live streaming, people are posting videos, people are posting pictures. It is a absolute Byzantine mess of one thread over the next, trying to find it. And while Dizzy is focused and driving forward, Lucio meets Arsenio halfway, and he's carrying his phone, but it's not his phone. It's the same model, but Lucio knows instinctively that Arsenio does not have a pink phone case. Yet this one is pink and has a blue and purple, some other color mixed together on the back. Looks from it to Arsenio the best I could do.
Whose phone is that?
It's Faye's phone. She probably won't need it for another couple of days. I don't know how she can smoke that much. I really worry about her lungs. There's a cloud thick enough that my forearm had a hard time getting through.
Oh, God, at some point we're going to have an intervention.
Yeah, I'm sure this I'm sure the phone even had the contact from what I was doing back then. And it's not cheap stuff. Now, I've smoked some cheap stuff in my day, but this was clearly that hydroponic stuff, that hyper hydro, whatever they call it these days, that's supercharged.
I know that humans aren't exactly immortal, but goddamn, she smoking that much might lose her sooner than I expect. All right, let's see what's on the phone. And Lucia's gonna look to see if Eddie's phone number is on that phone.
Eddie's phone number is not on that phone. There, however, is a J. Ross with a copy of Eddie's picture next to it. And the remarks that Faye left in the notes for that number, if Lucio was living, would make him blush.
Details.
She has read Eddie for filth. He is somehow super nice when he wants to be, but also super skeezy. If he didn't have such a large package, she wouldn't even bother letting him come around. Not that she wants him specifically, but he has a nice group of friends, especially that Ross kid, who's cousins with Steven or Malik. She's not sure which, because he is clearly, or seems to be, biracial. She's not sure, but he's very attractive with his dreads, and the only way to him is through Eddie. And then she goes on about wondering whether both of them have the same size or whether those hips. She's seen Eddie dance with a couple of daddies from his videos that he posts.
Lucia's gonna stop reading at that point and just tell Arsenio, all right, just keep reading, or keep an eye on the party until whoever it is comes to hide the body. I gotta take these to the others.
So you want me to reach out to those guys, those disposal guys?
Tell you what, hold off on that for now, just in case we need more of his blood.
Okay, I'm not sure how much he has left, but you did a number. That he smiles and heads back up towards the party in swing somehow. It's almost as if the party caught its second wind, as if Naked Mario Kart was just a ticket to reinvigorate the partiers.
Lucio heads back to the others with the phone and with the ribbon. And along the way, does the name Ross actually ring a bell for Lucio? Because I remember there were like a bunch of other Thin Bloods that still lived.
No, there doesn't. However, because of the notes, there are several links to videos that have been posted from that phone, all within the last week.
How new is her phone? Because technology and Lucio don't always like interact well. So
no, it definitely won't. The only reason why he's able to interact with it already is because Arsenio had already opened the phone. But as the phone switches and shifts, as Lucio attempts to see what he can find, he realizes that the screen is magnifying, unmagnifying, attempting to switch apps on him, and the speaker is giving off static.
Yeah, Lucio's not going to touch it anymore, and he's just going to bring it to Dizzy because she's better at this than him.
Dizzy has parsed down the number of videos that she is viewing, and just as she opens up the video of Annabelle standing a small peak of canine from beneath her lips, Eddie's face flashes on screen, and there you have it, the succubus, my favorite place, my most protected place in all of the world, with my dear old mommy.
Found it. Now we go down the rabbit. Oh, what are you doing to that phone, dude?
Well, I was thinking maybe we could find his phone number if Stella and Faye were in contact with him. But judging from what you just found, I guess that's not necessary anymore.
Well, I mean, that'd be, if it's on there, it's like the number, it's way easier than me going down 2 hours a rabbit hole to get the number that's just right there.
Well, here you go. And he hands the phone to Dizzy. And here you go. And he hands the ribbon to Melinda.
It's a mess sometimes. You know, you just look it up one thing and then you end up spending 3 hours researching the history of boiled eggs.
It is very close to that, except for far, far worse. People have filmed all sorts of things in like the bathroom. People have done all sorts of things that they filmed themselves doing in the succubus restrooms. Not to mention the secluded booths along the far back wall on the first floor, and God forbid the few people who managed to make it to into the VIP section. The things that they've done and are willing to do. This you've seen a lot, and this just adds to that.
Wow, holy shit, guys. Remind me to go to the succubus and get a bite. There is some crazy perverted shit going on in that place.
And looking at Faye's phone with the number that connects with a J. Ross, there are, within the last week, roughly 96 videos saved. Roughly 50 of them are from and within the area of the succubus. 20 of them are clear, unadulterated masquerade violations. Those have not been uploaded. They are, in fact, saved to his personal feed, his Snap.
Is it possible, using Dizzy's knowledge of technology and phones, to try to find a way to get into that?
She'd need the phone they were uploaded to.
Is it possible to locate the phone that they're uploaded to, knowing the phone number?
No, because he doesn't have He's not an Apple guy. Well, Ross wasn't an Apple guy. But, Linda,
Yes.
having seen Eddie's face, having the ribbon, changing the target from Eddie specifically to something that he has held in his person within the last recent bit of time, and very much could still be in his person, would add a level of difficulty, but not enough to make it unfeasible. And his face, despite yourself, looks like a slightly more muscled version of someone very, very close to you. The nose is a hair wider, the jawline a little stronger, and the mascara, instead of detracting from the bright green of his eyes, adds to it. And it is very clear that there's a similarity of feature about Eddie.
She looks at that for a second too long. And she takes comfort, isn't the right word, but finds some just calmness knowing that this isn't the person she's looking for, because the bloodline is wrong. But she looks at him for a second, and she is going to, like, once we get to the hotel where we have some privacy, she's going to think about Eddie and his phone, and she's going to pull out a ritual. And she's thinking about Eddie's and his phone. She's going to put a long knife, a dagger made out of, like, it looks like to be made out of pure gold. And she slashes her arm, and the vitae soaks the pure white ribbon and turns it into a deep crimson red. And it begin to burn into smoke. And okay, I need a rouse check. I rolled an 8. How do I use the roll channel? So I already dropped my book. There we go. I'm gonna leave that right there. And then, okay, so exclamation point V, and then what else would I type in?
For a rouse roll, just a 1. So exclamation V space 1.
All right. I get hungrier. And I think that's what I would need to roll to do the ritual. Or would I need...
Blood sorcery is involved.
Alright, so... My first time playing Intramural. So... be me knocking things off. So, exclamation point V, and then it would be would I just type in a 9?
Yeah, there you go. There's
926. Alright. Alright, so it was a failure.
Alright, so here's the fun part. Because chaos, after all, is in fact a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
You've never had this result when seeking or using the spell which you had mastered, which has been Belinda's claim to fame. There was nothing that, or anyone that she could not find with enough time, especially with something that was connected to them, present. Their faith helps, something that they more often helped, but the sweetest and most potent factor is, of course, always their blood. Some bit of them, a hair, God forbid, Melinda's even used cast-off toys of the most intimate variety to find persons. Finding the person is not the issue because they are with you in the here and now. You feel their presence brushing against your skin. You can see Eddie smiling at you as he steps forward, rests a hand against your shoulder. You almost look like a young mommy. You can hear his voice purposefully purring with a perverse pleasure in making uncomfortable. It's almost as if he's in the very room. His purple pants and his tall or either green trench coat and that damn fishnet shirt, like he's here with you, like he's present but he's not, yet he's at the succubus but he's not, yet he's, and his presence seems to be every step between here and the succubus, and from here to another bar somewhere further north. Then it leads to another place further south. Not that you can specify which place, but you can feel the direction the presence is pulling. And you've never been pulled in so many different directions from one simple seeking ritual.
This is very interesting. Eddie, you go so many places. Do I get like a kind of like not something more specific, but do I get kind of like a sense of the directions of the places he's been?
Yes, you're pulled, and you are pulled in those several different directions at once with all the same intensity, and that's the confusing part. There's normally, even in the confusing instances, there's usually an area or a direction that's a little stronger or a little weaker. But yet, in this case, it is literally as if someone is attempting to bisect you a multiplicity of times.
Would I get the sense of if any of these places are closer than the other?
Unfortunately, no, because of the intensity, it is equalized. It is pulling you in each of those directions with the same force. So closeness wouldn't vary that strength.
At some point during all this, Dizzy's going to look up from furiously typing away on her phone and pull out her earbuds, which you can still hear some of the music roaring there. She's like, hey, why does Crook's Lounge sound familiar?
I want to know.
Have we been there before?
Yes, you all have. You have been to a Crook's Lounge. And Hestia has been to Crook's Lounge several times.
Unfortunately, Hestia is not in the room. She's in the bathroom with the door locked.
Melinda tells them about how, she's never had this difficulty before. And being pulled in several directions with the same intensity. And, looks obviously, frustrated about it. And it's like, it's never happened before.
All right.
It's all right, new chick. We all get performance anxiety. We should go check out. She starts holding up her phone to show Lucio and then remembers that that's not going to do any good. She's like, this Crook's Lounge here. He likes to hang out at Crook's Lounges.
Melinda, was that one of the places you felt pulled to?
Was it? Or did I know?
Being new to the city, technically you wouldn't know, but yes. Crook's Lounge is a much vaunted answer to the succubus, where the succubus is the spirit of elitism and Redno is the feeling of a welcoming rebellion. Crooks is the staid and static. It is a difference between going to an attraction place like Disney or Universal versus going somewhere local like Santa's Village or Six Flags. It is a smaller version of the elitism captured by the succubus without the status of being a local landmark, with the open welcome of a place like Redno without actually having to be one of the rebellious outsiders. It is instead of going out to a fancy meal, going to the neighborhood pub. It is that sort of place for kindred of all stripe. And while it's not sold or marketed to the populace as a place you can go for a bite, it is not frowned on if you do so respectfully.
I've never heard of this place before, but I believe so, yes. It was a place I felt drawn to go.
Okay. So this is one good lead, but you said you were pulled to multiple places. What were the other places again?
What were they?
You wouldn't know exactly, but just merely the directions of, because they're all the same intensity, so it's one of those like roughly there, roughly there, roughly there.
I don't know, just kind of have vague that way,
Putting them all together, if you were able to overlay them on a map, for instance, or draw them out for your guests and potential associates, it would be clear that they are all. Lucia, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll wits in investigation or insight, whichever is higher?
Investigation is absolutely higher. Would criminology or missing persons specialty apply in this case?
Yes, missing person.
The dice pool is 9. Oh dear.
Diz, Melinda, would you both be so kind as to roll your dexterity and athletic?
I'm sorry in advance.
Dexterity and athletics?
Yep.
So that'd be 3-2-2 for me.
Now, is this something my celerity might help with?
Sure. take away a die, and you can roll, and your successes will count for you and Melinda as Dizzy dives to help or assist Melinda.
I don't know if taking away a die is going to help either one of us, but let's see here.
One can hope.
All right, so we're going to close that thought for a second. While in the bathroom composing yourself, Hester, you hear the most god-awful ruckus erupting in the room outside. The last time you've heard such noise in an adjacent hotel room or in an adjacent space was the time when you looked up in the elevator to see Newberry bearing down on Lucio, attempting to divest him of his continued potential immortality, screaming he is a monster. Hopefully, in the offing, no one loses their eye, or worse. Would you remain in the restroom? Would you go to find out what's happening?
Hestia is going to angrily whip open the bathroom door and shout, "Can I lose my shit in peace?"
The moment you say, "Can you lose your shit?" you see very few times before. The anger is not directed at anyone, but it is uncaring as to what is in his way as he's spouting, "Not the fucking basement people again." He's flipping the table, he's flipping the bed. Unfortunately, in the process of doing so, he inadvertently knocked the bed on top of Dizzy, and Melinda buried underneath it as he is going absolutely ballistic as he watches over and over again. His eyes awaken to death. His eyes awaken to the night and the horror that will set there touchably close to where he was. Without even realizing that his life was over, he knew instinctually that this was a place of death, that these people involved in this were of the wrongest sorts and variety. He's reliving that moment, except for instead of it being the woman that he saw there, it is Faye and Stella. And as he looks across the room, they're hung in a similar situation. Instead of it being the salubri that is held by Critias, it is Mother. And standing just out of reach, Don Castiglione, and resting his feet on Ignacio's back with his elbow propped on his wife's forehead and cheering you on as you are too slow to stop him from doing anything. You know, if he just gave up, just gave in, just admit it, you're just as monstrous as everyone you fight against.
She snarls at him in response, not giving one good fuck about anything he has to say, and uses fleetness to cross the space between her and Lucio, get right up in front of him, and switch to compel to stop him what he's doing.
Lucio, what is your resolve?
Resolve is 4.
All right, Hes, you have your target.
Alright.
I guess while this is going on, Dizzy's going to push the bed off her and Melinda. Stand up and dust herself off and be like, when I got up this night, I took a shower, I was going to go out, get something to eat, have like a cuddle, maybe a bite from a dude. Or it's just fuck it, I'm done. I'm out. Call me tomorrow. I'm done with this shit tonight. Fuck off.
The sheer unmitigated gall of the Don, the sheer unmitigated gall of whoever was responsible for that den you awoke in, all of that fades away as you hear Dizzy, "Fuck off, I'm done with this, I'll see you," and Heshi is telling you to knock this shit off.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's coming over me lately.
Did you see him?
I saw Don
Yeah,
standing
that's
over.
what's going on. I saw him too.
And I'm pretty sure the same people involved in my death a year ago are involved in this again.
Are you that new?
I'm sorry, you didn't hear that. What?
Are you that new to our society?
Yes.
Well,
Not many people know about it outside of this group.
I will say what do I know about? Like, would Melinda be able to tell what kind of clan Darcy is?
No, there's nothing stereotypical or obvious about any of that without a taste of blood.
Or look in the mirror.
There is potentially that, if there's a mirror handy. What is handy and what is on Lucio's topmost thoughts, what he picked up in the leap of a logic between Crooks, Succubus, and that, they are all kindred-related businesses. They are all places where the kindred congregate and associate and potentially feed. Combined with what Dizzy had already said about him potentially working with the group in the south suburbs who were attempting to kidnap her, it is quite obvious that this is both a physical attack and a mental one against Kindred. Blackmail information that was clearly a plotted and planned attempt to expose, and the risk was being offered. Plus his conversation with Lucio just less than an hour or so ago was about still utilizing Faye and Stella's apartment directly across from the Succubus, both internal and external views. And Eddie, smart though he thought he might be, is clearly not the sort of person you would expect to be the boss of such an organization.
Who came to that realization?
Lucio.
We need to work faster. We need to catch these people right away. I am sorry, Melinda, that this is your first impression of me. I am not normally like this.
You're new. We're all a bit off our game in the first year or so. I was much like you in 1943.
It's good to know that I'm not the only one that went through this.
The first 12 months are inexperience. But, 1942 to 43 was where my sire kept me much away from everybody, and once I got a hold of it myself, introduced me to Rog, and give it till next year. This time next year, you'll have it figured.
God, I hope you're right.
And Melinda will kind of like put her arm around you a little bit and just kind of like pat your back, just kind of like a friendly, like, like, it's fine, you'll be fine.
Cassie has been fixing the room this whole time because she needs to keep moving, so she's writing everything and putting the bed back on itself and smoothing the blankets.
As Hestia settles the luggage rack finally in its place, the last thing that was within easy reach, and stands looking at Lucio and Melinda. The three of them here with the truths that have been not shared yet. Lucio did not tell anyone, except for that they may be connected.
Just to make sure I understood what you were telling me before. Is it basically like Lucio determined that the Don and Eddie were connected, or was this something else that I missed?
Not specifically that Don and Eddie were connected. That was unfortunately part and parcel of Lucio's beast rearing its head after with all the stress he's been dealing with that particular source. What is obvious is that Eddie is part of something larger. There is no way that he can cover all of that ground, and there is no way that he can be so accurate in getting the information that could be used to blackmail against other kindred without it being part of something larger. And Lucio wouldn't see Eddie as a leader of such something larger.
For that part, Lucio will relay to everyone present, and just like kind of going over some things in my head. We've established that Eddie is connected to the people who killed Lucio, right? The other blood trade business.
Yes.
Which is also being run by Laura Blakeney, correct?
No. But yes, she's connected with them associatively, but she's not part of them. She's been undercover with Theist.
Okay. So the blood trade that she's trying to start up is separate from these guys as well?
Yes, but connected because they use the same sources. And yeah, it all dovetails back into, it all flows into the kindred of the city. The dealers, purveyors, the suppliers.
Okay. So here's my and this is in character now. Here's my understanding. Dizzy, get back here. This is important.
Yeah, had already stepped out. She spoke her piece about she was out, call her tomorrow, and she has not. Didn't stop.
Sometimes people just need to, sometime alone. Like they go through a lot, they need alone.
Suppose that happens when you have a bed frame thrown on you.
Yes, thank you, Hestia, for fixing my bed.
So here's what I've determined. Eddie is part of a larger group. He's definitely not the leader. He's not the type to be a leader. They have to be connected to the same people that I was investigating a year ago, which is when apparently the blood trade dried up in the city before Laura killed me. So, if we're gonna go after these people, we're basically going after an organization that no one has known about until now.
Just like what group you just recently dealt with.
Just like the, correct me if I'm wrong, Children of the Dusk?
Yep.
Just like the Children of the Dusk. It's all coming together.
What is this? Hold on. Just a second.
The children. Let me know when you're ready.
The Kinder der Dämmerung was the Kinder.
Sorry, I had a little trouble hearing you there.
Kinder the Dämmerung was the English fourth, like it's May 4th. Kinder.
You were asking who the Children of the Dusk were, is that right?
Yeah.
Part cult, part organization of Thin Bloods. Or Duskborn, as they've been calling themselves lately. They were working under... Actually, Hestia might be able to tell you a bit more about them.
The Kinder?
They were kindred, yes. Well, I guess that depends on if you consider Thin Blood's kindred or not. But basically, they were working with one of our enemies and were spying on us, trying to take over our shelter. And then they sent an army after us. About 50 or so of them. I think only 2 or 3 made it out. So, with all this in mind, I think the bar is the best place to investigate, because that's one of the areas that you felt a strong pull towards, and that's an area that Dizzy said he frequented. But we definitely need to investigate those other 2 areas as well. Or those other multiple areas that you found.
I think also we should check out the areas a bit around the bar.
The bar? Agreed. Now the question is, do we do this together for safety, or do we split up to cover more ground?
That is a very pertinent question, and it is 28 after the hour. Let's pause here and take a quick 10 minutes. See you guys back here at 38 after the hour.
Okay, see you in a bit.
Alright.
All right, anybody back?
Oops. I thought I had muted. I'm back.
Present.
Oh, sorry, are we back?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Alright.
With the busy, hugely busy night that Dizzy has had, slipping out of the hotel room and making her way away, seeking some solace of alone time with her thoughts. There are certain truths, as is always the case, that only come in those quiet moments between all the chaos that exists in their nighttime life. And as she slips out, not that she's particularly a bleeding heart, nor someone prone to naturally giving everything they have just to anyone. The fact that upon exiting the Piscateers and being divested of her fun, if her instincts, if her intuition is absolutely correct, she left a singular, near angelic toreador standing down 3 on the hunt lupine. And why Dizzy Subconscious makes that parallel between what's going on now, what's been going on with her for the bulk of the evening, and the person that they're seeking to find the information from. They are involved in blackmail, clearly kidnapping other people, not kindred specifically, typically not kindred specifically, but they are involved in the destruction of lives in every way possible, from stealing their solace, safety, to removing and sealing their actual body. To what ends isn't really a question. You can imagine all sorts of dark and twisted ends to their victims. But the truth is, they are in fact victims to persons not completely part of kindred society. The outsiders, the loners, people they can catch and co-opt alone. With those thoughts in mind, where's Dizzy heading?
I think she kind of just planned on going home for the night at this point, but that could possibly change. She's gonna shoot a text to Vivi and see if Vivi's available, kind of expecting that she isn't, but just in case.
Okay. What does the text say? And while you're mentally composing that text, would you be so kind as to go ahead and your charisma and persuasion. Target number is 3 or better. And what is Dizzy's text?
Probably just something like, "Hey girl, what up?"
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, the response is very, very bullshit. Something called Gary Bags is breakfast.
I already had waffles.
Second breakfast.
What are we, hobbits?
See.
Yeah, sure. I'm going home, so somewhere near there.
And as always, she sends back DJ's little breakfast spot there on Farwell, where they make the fluffiest, lightest, most delectable pancakes. They actually don't even call them pancakes. They call them specifically flapjacks for some strange reason. Partially to be different, partially let everyone know where you ate. But that's what they do. So you're headed away from the central downtown area. And as you slide past the turnstile, realize that you're getting on the train a second time in one evening. What are the odds that it is not in fact packed with God knows who doing God knows what and embroiling you in some momentous moment of further chaos?
Yeah, most of the time that I've been on the train, there's been a Nosferatu mad about it. So, but I guess I am bereft of options.
There are certain things that are true no matter which city. Certain truisms that become part and parcel of day in and day out life of living in that urban environment. One of those things is that the Red Line very much is the main artery of the city that everyone eventually rides. Yeah. Luckily for Dizzy, she is in fact that needle in the haystack. When she gets on, she watches the late night revelers making their way. There are people dressed in their club finery with all of the shame of the evening, the buyer's remorse for drinks and other things purchased over the course of the evening. There are the sleuthless who make the city far more vibrant than it should be or deserves to be, living their best moments possible in all of their filth and cast off invisibility as he settles into the seat as the train chugs along, making her way north back to her environs. And it's funny to say that after all the years, all the time, becoming a part of the city, that the biggest shock of the evening is peace and quiet of sitting in the subway, chugging and watching the buildings blur by. And as he makes her way north, and Lucio and Linda gather their plans, Hestia stands with the now reappointed. What is on Hestia's mind as she and Melinda beginning to plot and plan on making another to Crooks? The last time she was there without her coat, last time she was there without any intentions to do harm, she ran into Walter, the good upstanding Irish bloke who was there out front, troubled.
That makes her think, has she heard from him at all since then? Because she gave him her number in a way to contact him. When she hears them mention Crooks, she kind of blinks a bit. You said Crooks?
That I did.
We've been to Crooks. Crooks is where we got...
I'm sorry, I meant that's what Melinda said, yes.
Remember the night we had to get that guy for the prints? We got him from Crooks.
Oh, fuck, no. Please don't tell me McTavish is involved in this again.
I don't know, but he keeps meeting people at Crooks, or Crooks is involved, and that's a lot of sketchy people, quotation marks, sketchy people hang out there.
Well, with a name like Crooks, I wouldn't expect anything less.
I know, it's weird. But they exchange information there, and that was where Sylvia took me. And you remember how I feel about Sylvia?
Yeah.
Sorry, Melinda. We'll have to explain that soon. But that happened there. The thing with the guy happened there. I met another guy there, but I haven't heard from him, and he seemed really troubled. I should probably find out what happened to him. That happened there, and apparently Eddie frequents there, so that means, yeah, that place is full of crooks. Not pun intended.
It's a hive of scum and villainy, which means it's the perfect place for us to investigate.
So you all saddle up and prepare to ride out towards Crooks. Crooks is not as much of a well-known on the national stage as the Succubus and all of its derivative Succubus clubs across the nation, across the world. The roving Succubus club that sweeps along every 5 or 15 years to various cities, turning it upside down for the weekend. But Crooks is a local landmark. It is very much is a hive of scum and the worst sorts of people that it is okay for the kindred to occasionally slip up and may go missing. It is also very efficiently run. Each Crooks will remind you of at least 2 others, and while each of them reside in different looking buildings and have a different floor plan, there is a air of similarity, sameness about each of them. It is a place one goes when one can't afford the succubus or don't want to be seen in the same light and don't want to become one of the children of the revolution by frequenting Redno or Prop House. For those not acclimated to what Chicago is, it is the bluest collar, blackest heart sort of establishment one can walk into. The cantina on Tatooine has nothing on Crooks. There are cops and clear-cut criminals and people of all walks of illegality associating the staff. There are several pickpockets working in crowds. There's a gang of smokers out front, and not smoking just tobacco, not smoking just cigarettes. There are cigars and pipes and all manner of tobacco being used, as well as the devil's lettuce fresh on the air. And because of the bounds of blood history, you realize as Melinda stands stock still when you all get out, this is most assuredly one of the places that whatever ritual she used led her to. Because it is like for her, Melinda being hit with a taser. Luckily, tasers don't have as much effect on dead flesh, but that's what it feels like. And as you all enter into Crooks, Dizzy steps off the train unaccosted. And there are some nights that end with an explosion of activity, and some nights that end with the storm of tears. And there are some nights, some moments that end with a whimper. And as Lucio, Melinda, and Hestia head into Crooks, and Dizzy heads to DJ's, we draw to a close. And I want to thank you for a lovely session. I look forward to seeing us all here next week for episode 1 of season 9, Loop City. Call it a clan. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night, folks.